Ms. Faith, can you hear us? Ready? Ms. Jones, ready? Yeah. All right. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Today is Monday, July 14th. My name is Arlisha Wilson. I'll be the chair of today's meeting, and we're going to get started with the reading of the preamble. Madam Secretary.
Good morning. My name is Liz Kukla. I'm the Secretary of the Board of Zoning Appeals, and I'm going to read the preamble for you this morning, this Monday, July 14th. In compliance with notification requirements of the city's open meeting law and section 101.021 of the codified ordinances of Cleveland, Ohio, 1976, notice of this meeting has been publicly posted. All boards and commissions under the purview of the City Planning Department conducts its meetings according to Robert's Rules of Order. Actions during the meeting will be taken by voice vote. Abstentions from any vote due to a conflict of interest should be stated for the record prior to the taking of any vote. In order to ensure that everyone participating in the meeting have the opportunity to be heard, we ask that you use the raise hand feature before asking a question or making a comment. The raise hand feature can be found in the participants panel on the desktop and mobile version and activated by clicking the hand icon. Please wait for the chair or facilitator to recognize you and be sure to select unmute and announce yourself before you speak. When finished speaking, please lower your hand by clicking on the raise hand icon again and mute your microphone. We will also be utilizing the chat feature to communicate with participants. The chat feature can be activated by clicking the chat button located on the bottom of the WebEx screen. Please note that call-in users can unmute by using *6. All meeting activity is being recorded via the WebEx platform. These proceedings are also being live streamed via YouTube for public view. We have provided a link to the meeting for those who wish to speak on a particular case via our website and email. All requests to speak on a particular matter have been considered. We've also received emails from those who have provided written comment on a particular matter. Back to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you for that. Can we call the roll, please?
Ms. Faith?
Present.
Ms. Holzer?
Present.
Ms. Roca?
Present.
Mr. Madison will be absent this morning. And Ms. Wilson?
Present.
Madam Chair, we have a quorum with 4 members. We need to announce at this time to the appellants that with 4 members, they run the risk of a tied vote. If there is a tied vote, the variance is denied. So at this time, the appellant may, if he feels like he may have a controversial case or something that he would benefit from that 5th member, he may request a postponement at this time to a future date.
Okay. Anyone in the room or online wish to request a postponement based on the fact that there are 4 members and not 5? What would be our postponement date?
It would be 3 weeks.
All right, Elise, I can see that your hand is raised. Are you an appellant? Do you wish to postpone your case based on us having 4 members? Please unmute.
I mean, I was gonna postpone it anyways because my other variance hasn't been denied yet. So, but yeah, that'll be fine with me.
Okay, so this will be calendar number 25-083. This is at 3848 West 130th Street. At the request of the appellant, we will postpone this matter. Madam Secretary, what will be the next date?
Okay. It would be August 4th or August 11th. I think August 11th works better for our caseload.
Okay, let's go with August 11th. Ms. Robinson, your case will not be heard today. We'll hear it on August 11th. You are free to leave.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Any other appellants wishing to postpone their matter? All right, hearing none, are there any postponements and withdrawals that you know of, Madam Secretary?
We do have one for Mapledale. It's 25-100, 3318 Mapledale Avenue. Is the appellant online or in the room? We've been made aware by Building and Housing that the adjudication needs to be amended. So we can postpone, I think postponing it might be the best option as opposed to withdrawing it. Postpone it to a new date, and they may not need a variance or they may need more variances. I know Ms. Leonard might be on the call, but we, at this time, they're not ready for us to hear it.
Okay, all right, and so should we put that one on August 11th as well?
We could do that, yes,
Okay.
unless Ms. Leonard had any objections.
Chief, any objection to August 11th for calendar number 25-100 at 3318 Mapledale Avenue?
Good morning, Shannon Leonard, Chief Zoning Administrator. No, I don't have any objections.
Okay, thank you for that.
Thank you.
We'll postpone that matter. Any other postponements, Madam Secretary?
That'll do it.
All right, well, I will roll back to the top of the agenda and start with the first case. This is calendar number 25-907 at 4680 Lee Road. We do have an appellant present, so I'll ask Ms. Hoser to read the case in.
Sure thing. Our first case is calendar number 25-097. This is at 4680 Lee Road. Reese Lewis, owner, proposes to change use from a beauty salon to a restaurant in a two-family residential zoning district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record, of which there are 3. And with that, I will hand it over to Ms. Roca for the oath.
Thank you, Ms. Holzer. I'll swear you in. Do you swear or affirm that testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth? Please state your name, spell your name, and give your address. Oh, thanks.
Kent Whitley.
You have to turn it on.
Yeah.
There you go.
Am I good? All right. Kent Whitley, KENT WHITLEY, 15919 Chadbourne Road, Shaker Heights, Ohio, 44120.
Thank you. Is there anyone on the call who would wish to speak in this matter? Anyone else in the room? Oh, we'll have you come on up to the front. You. And you can bring a chair up. if You need to. All right, I'll swear you in. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Please raise your hand, state your name, spell your name, and give your address.
Yes, Carol Patton, CarolPatton.
Your address.
16414 Clearview Avenue, Cleveland, Ohio, 44128.
Okay, and do you swear?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank
Yes,
you.
it is.
And do you swear? Go ahead.
Yes, Carmilla Driscoll, Carmilladriscal, 4221 East 187th Street, Cleveland.
Thank you very much. All right, back to you, Madam Chair.
All right, thank you for that. We'll go to history of the property, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This property was originally zoned general retail in 1929. In 1951, it was placed in the two-family residential district. In our records administration office, we found that in 1947, a permit was issued to erect a private garage. 1962, a permit was issued to install a Pepsi Cola sign projecting from a one-story delicatessen. And then we have 3 variances on file, Madam Chair. In calendar number 92-244, this board granted a variance to change use to a beauty salon and boutique from a delicatessen, and that was in calendar 92-244. And then in calendar 20-147, this board granted a variance to change use from a salon to a restaurant, and that was in 2020. And then again in 2023, in calendar 23-078, this board granted a variance to change use from salon to restaurant again, as the 2021 had expired.
Okay. All right, thank you for that. Can we have legal, please?
Madam Chair, members of the board, appellant is requesting use variances and an area variance from the landscaping requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the use variance, appellant must prove that denying the request will result in an unnecessary hardship, particular to the property, such that there will be no economically feasible use of the property without the variance, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variance will be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code. To obtain the area variance, appellant must prove that denying the request will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
All right, thank you. I'll now turn to the project team. Mr. Whitley, are you here to speak on behalf of Varice Lewis?
He's literally walking up the stairs, he said.
Okay.
For the team, yeah.
Okay, are you in a position to present the project to us?
Oh, yes, I am.
Okay, please go right ahead.
Okay, just for the record, this project has been here and approved before from the Board of Zoning Appeals. As you can see where it's located, it's in a beautiful area within the city of Cleveland. They propose a 400 square foot restaurant open from early morning hours till 2 p.m. In the afternoon. They're going to have parking, and they're going to provide a 6-foot fence surrounding the property.
Okay. Any other details you'd like to share?
I'd like to share, to go to the site plan. Do you have the bigger one that I sent? It's a larger single page site plan. There you go. Like we opposed to, as you see, this fence they're gonna have to kind of disguise to get them. So they won't bother the property owners on one side of the street, one side of the property to the next side of the property. They're gonna provide landscaping in the front part to address the city's concerns with landscaping off of the main street.
All right. Any questions from the board?
That and does that, so it's very small. So will you guys be complying with the 3rd code section, or is a variance still needed if you're going to be providing the landscaping in the front?
That I don't know, but we're gonna provide the landscaping.
What's the plan for the landscaping? How wide is the strip that you're gonna?
That strip is about 18 feet by 6 feet.
Okay. And we do have someone who's joined us at the table. For the
It's the
record, can you
owner.
please state your name?
Varice Lewis.
Okay, can you pass him the mic so he can
Sure.
be heard? Thank you. And then I'll have,
Swear you in. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth? Please raise your hand, state your name, spell your name, and give your address.
Varice Lewis, V as in Victor, E-R-E-E-S-E, Lewis, L-E-W-I-S. Address 4680 Lee Road, Cleveland, Ohio.
Do you swear?
I swear.
Thank you.
All right, go ahead and give us your testimony. Tell us about your project. We've heard briefly that you're trying to establish a restaurant. Tell us what you want us to know.
We purchased this property maybe 2, 3 years ago, in which I'm from that area, in which me and my wife are trying to more so give the neighborhood change the mindset, giving them something positive to look in the area and district. What's that one?
Yeah,
Ward 1. And we're just trying to bring a positive vibe to the area with better food, products, employing people. It just brings something really upscale to the neighborhood. This is our maybe 10th business within me and my wife have. We also have something in the University Circle as well. So we in Maple Heights, Shaker Heights. So there's just a continual part of our growth to bring something to the community.
Okay, can you tell us a little bit about staffing, hours of operations?
Staffing, we're hiring 3 cooks, we're hiring multiple servers. We're gonna bring we're gonna employ a lot of people, community wise.
Oh, we have someone else who's
That's
joined
right.
us at the table. Why don't we go ahead and swear you in?
Oh, let
and
me
provide
get
testimony
this
as
last.
well. Go ahead, Ms. Rosa.
Swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth. Please raise your hand. State I do, state your name, spell your name, and give your address.
I do. I swear and I do. And my name is Evelyn Lewis, Evelyn, Lewis, Lewis.
And your address?
10422 Toland Drive, Reminderville, Ohio, 44202.
Thank you.
All
can
right,
speak now.
go right
So
ahead
I
with
was
your
just
testimony.
coming up here to sit next to him and see, but I can give a little bit of feedback. So yeah, we're doing a sit down restaurant, and hours of operation are starting from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Just during the day, we definitely, as Reese said, my husband said, just want to offer the community something where they can just kind of come and sit, have something really nice where they don't always have to just leave the area. We can bring other people in and just support the area, being able to provide jobs and just a nice place for them to come, congregate, communicate, talk, and be proud of their, the product that's in their own environment.
Okay, any other questions from the board?
Madam Chair, through you to the appellant, how many days a week? You said 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Is that 7 days a week or 5 days a week?
We're gonna start with 6. Hopefully we go to 7.
Okay, what days of the week?
The 7 days, Sunday through Sunday.
Sunday through Sunday. And approximately how many staff?
On time, probably maybe 6, 7.
And what's the parking situation?
We have a parking lot that approximately fit maybe 15, 20.
That's all I have, Madam Chair.
All right, thank you. Any other questions from the board?
I think again, and maybe this is to Chief Leonard, if they're proposing an 18-foot, 6-foot wide strip, do they need the third variance?
Chief Leonard, can you address this question for us?
Oh, yes, good morning. If they are providing the 6-foot frontage strip along the front, fronting Harvard, they do not need the variance, so they do not need number 3.
Okay, and to the appellant, just to confirm, you are providing a 6-foot landscaping strip on the front?
Yes.
Okay, so then we'll vote only on 1 and 2 after we hear testimony. So I have Councilman who's just entered the room. Is this a case that you want to speak in?
Sorry, if I could just jump in, just when we were talking about the details of the site plan.
Okay,
Mr. Whitley mentioned a 6-foot tall fence. It looks like on the site plan that I'm looking at, the fence would come all the way down to the sidewalk. It would need to be pulled back. I think there's a house next door.
all the way down.
Okay, so it would start right at the front of that house and go back?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Okay, Thank you. I may need an updated site plan after.
No problem.
Okay, so we'll make sure that we add that as a condition. We have two others who need to speak. Do you want to speak now, or do you want me to call you after the others have spoken?
You can call me Madam Chairwoman after others have spoken.
Okay, absolutely, I'll do that. So now let's come to Carol Patton.
Yes.
Go ahead and
hi.
give us your testimony.
Good morning. So, basically, my backyard where my garage is at is like maybe, 3 feet, maybe not even 3 feet, maybe 2 feet. It sits, behind their building. So in the back, in their back is where my garage meets, and it's 2 feet. It's literally right there. And I'm speaking because there has been some problems with, with the property. Like for an example, their tree is a dying tree and it has failed on my car and damaged. And I've been trying to get in contact with the people who own it, but had no success with that.
Okay, so in terms of your position as it relates to changing this property from a salon to a restaurant, do you have an opinion on that?
I am not in agreement with it, no.
Okay, do you want to state some reasons for the board as to why you disagree?
Okay, so because I've been living in the community for a very, very long time, we're talking about privacy for one. I can see everything on their property because it's a see-through fence. Where there's a restaurant, there's rodents. There's no raccoons there. We don't have any mice there. So when there's a restaurant, and then, so I'm thinking like, where is their garbage bin is going to be at? Two, we live in a Lisaville, Miles area. So another prime example is like, we had a Family Dollar, it's been robbed several times. So when you open up a restaurant, you change the dynamics of the community. And maybe probably 30 years ago, it was very drug infested. So it's a very, very quiet, nice neighborhood. And, you have a school zone, the speed limit is 35. And you have a school, probably like maybe, how many blocks, like 2 blocks from the restaurant?
Yeah, about 3 blocks.
Yes, that's school. That's an early school. So now we're talking about traffic. Yeah, those are some of the things, very important things. So definitely will want privacy. And one more thing, their fence leans on my garage. They have trees over my garage. So those are, things. One time there was as they were building the parking lot, and it's that's a very, very small parking lot. I'm trying to figure out how they would fit 15 cars back there. But like I said, the fence is very, very old. So somebody bulldozed when they were fixing the property up, just bulldozed everything, like all the trees, the rocks and everything onto my property. So that means when they bulldoze, they popped the fence open and just dumped. And then this happened last year in August. So I've been talking to, I'm a part of the Lisaville committee. So I talked to them. I talked to a couple of people, made a police report, talked to Joe Jones about it. And nothing was done about it.
Okay.
And
All
also
right,
in
I'm now gonna,
accordance.
hold on a second. I'm gonna acknowledge you so that the court reporter knows who you are. All right, Carmilla Driscoll. All right, go right ahead.
Also, in accordance with the code, if the property is under 10 feet from the neighboring properties, it's against city ordinance. And again, it's within literally 2 feet of our property. And the current fencing situation is leaning over onto the property as it is. And as my sister stated, when they were in the process of cleaning up, there was a lot of debris and material that pushed over to the fence, and that debris and material was onto the property. So it's the back area, and so additionally, the back area is, I don't have the exact dimensions, but I can't visualize how, we have pictures, I can't visualize how 15 parking spots can even be on that site. But, so we have pictures here of the neighboring, the property that, and our property. If you need to see pictures.
We'd be happy to review the pictures. Kind of color. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Okay, does that conclude your testimony?
That concludes it. Yeah, just wanted to reiterate, however, the fact that according to the city ordinance, that type of zoning, is not permitted if it's under 10 feet. And again, they're like 2 feet.
Okay, understood. We've heard a lot of concerns. I'll give you an opportunity to address them.
Yes. I took pictures yesterday. It's a fence on my property, and which is real tall, and also they have a tree that's real tall on their property. Both of them joined together. So if something fell on her car, and I've never seen her car all the way parked to the garage, I apologize. A tree will get trimmed up, cut down. Really doesn't need to get cut down. Probably need to get trimmed up. That property that we purchased didn't have a roof, a floor, nothing. We probably put maybe $75,000 into that property. Me and Mr. Jones walked over there yesterday to her property. I don't know what hers, well, I don't know what property is hers. I'm assuming, I don't know what property is because I've seen so much high grass. I don't know what property is hers or whatever, but I came here to just try to build a community. To which what they say parking, the lot next to ours is ours too. We're gonna asphalt all of that. So when we say that's not enough parking, we bought that as well as the property next to them, is which their driveway we own, but we allowed them to keep their property so they can have a driveway for their home. So some of the property that's next to us, we allowed that owner to keep the driveway, which is rightfully ours, to keep the community okay. I don't want to come in and disrupt anything or that. I'm coming in to be a positive thing, not a negative thing. The cars that come down the street, they've been coming down the street before I even bought the building. So I can't control it. So if she had an issue, she could have left a note or anything to call me. As far as the debris coming over there, we probably have at least 5 feet before we get to her fence. That fence was destroyed before I even bought it. The garage is theirs. I haven't even seen them open up a garage since I purchased the property. I don't know, I'm not trying to be a problem to you all, but some of this stuff could happen outside of here before this, in which I done put $75,000 in this building. You see, I'm trying to do something. I have the pictures of this building before I even bought it. And for somebody to come in and say, this is a problem.
And the other thing, we're doing a privacy fence, so anything that you can see now, you're not gonna be able to see. We definitely want to be a positive force in the community, anything, that we can do just to help, we are willing to do.
Right.
We don't want to come in and cause any disruption.
Okay,
Mhm.
so there was also some concern about maybe rodent issues that could come from the restaurant. Can you address your waste management plan?
Well, truthfully, next door, I see gophers, I see cats, I see a lot of that stuff. So the improvement that I'm doing is helping everybody's houses, the house that I'm looking at.
And then we're actually, we believe in pest control, just having any orkin come out, because it is gonna be a restaurant. I can understand that is definitely a concern. That's something we're gonna have, I'm sure quarterly, and if we need it more frequent, we'll do that. We do, again, as my husband said, we own a lot of businesses that we've been doing since we've been really young. And we believe in having a quality upscale business. All of our businesses are beautiful and we take really great care of them. And that's something that we definitely do as well. We're, again, because it is a restaurant, I can understand you feeling like that's gonna be a concern, but I assure you, we do top-notch work. We take great care of our properties because we want people to come in and brag about us. we don't want them to say anything negative. So we're gonna do the work as we do with anything else we have and ensure that it stays top notch and quality and a nice staple in the community.
This is
All
sometimes I
right.
wish people would say,
Madam Chair.
thank you.
Hold on a second. Yes, Madam
Madam
Secretary.
Chair, to the, regarding the dumpster, it might be important for Mr. Whitley to note where it is. It seems that there is a location identified, as well as it looks like it will be enclosed properly.
Yes, ma'am.
So that will have a board-on-board fence around it, I believe, or whatever
That's correct.
material it is.
A different fence for the dumpster, is that?
It's another additional fence, that's correct.
Okay, Councilman, do you want to
I-
give your comment? Hold on one second, ladies. Do you want to give your comment, Councilman?
Is everyone finished? Yes, ma'am.
Go right ahead. Why don't you grab one of the microphones? Is that one over there working? Okay, perfect.
Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Mhm.
Appreciate you.
Swear in. Do we need to do a swear in? I think we do
Yes,
need to swear in.
do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth? Please raise your hand, state your name and give your address.
Is it my right hand?
Yes.
My name is Joe Jones. Councilman representing the Lee Harbor Ward 1 area. My address is 4691.
This address is fine.
Oh, that's 601 Lakeside Avenue.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, go ahead. Go right ahead with your comment.
You know, one of the biggest challenges as an elected official is how do you bring business into your neighborhood? And in our neighborhood for quite some time now, it's been at least a good 15 years where we've been had maybe one little project here, one little project there, but the neighborhood is dying and people are moving out of the neighborhood left and right for better opportunities, amenities, and the like. It has been a heavy lift to come back to a neighborhood where we were building 150 homes about 28 years ago, a new Lee Harbor shopping plaza, a new Burger King, Walgreens. Before Tremont was building, Lee Harbor was building. And then somehow a monkey wrench was thrown in the program and we stopped building in our neighborhood. Now, since I've re-inherited the community, in 2018, banks were giving away homes for $5,000, $20,000. A lot of the properties and homes, Madam Chairwoman, was underwater. And it was quite bad because what we saw was a neighborhood that moved from 80% home ownership all the way down to, in some areas, 20% home ownership and 80% rental. And in some communities, 60% home ownership and 40% rental. So when we re-inherited the neighborhood back, we had over 80% of the streets that were in a very poor condition. I would dodge Chuckos and in a third world country. And so the thing was, how do we get our neighborhood back on track? An all African-American community that had completely deteriorated to such a degree that we were just watching an influx of people coming into the community, Section 8 homes, halfway houses. We had, I guess they have those houses where veteran homes and other homes. So we were having a lot of people coming into the community using properties as their homes and those as their businesses rather. And this type of overwhelming process has caused a lot of people to move out of our neighborhood. And then we lost a lot of businesses over the years. We used to have an ice cream shop. We used to have a meat shop. We used to have all the kind of amenities that you would like to shop in your own neighborhood. We saw all of that leave out of our neighborhood. And now what we have is a haul of what used to be. And so we're trying to do everything we can to bring new businesses back to the neighborhood. We've invested in terms of infrastructure over $100 million in terms of street repair, resurfacing. We have been blessed to be able to bring in a number of businesses in our community, and it starts with small businesses. If we're able to get a cluster of small businesses moving in, then we can rebuild our neighborhoods. And yes, drugs have impacted not just only the Lee Harbor neighborhood, but throughout the entire city of Cleveland. If you look on the near west side, you can see at one point prostitutes are walking up and down and selling drugs and shooting up and down West 25th Street. So we see a boom of development. Every time I go over there, I see new development going on. In fact, when our houses were at 5,000 and banks couldn't give away, there were purchasing and selling properties at $250,000 on the near west side. So at the end of the day, if we're going to survive as a neighborhood, we must develop. I met Mr. Reese some time back. And he came to my office and he talked about the vision of being able to put a breakfast shop in our neighborhood. Well, I love breakfast. And so, yeah, breakfast foods are my thing. And so we don't have a breakfast shop. And it would be a boon for us because what he did was he took a building that was completely vacant since I can remember for the last 30 some years. It has been a vacant, abandoned building, and there's nothing happened there at that building. He's taken that building, he's invested his resources. I tried to slow him down a little bit by telling him that maybe he should get funds and resources like a number of other businesses are getting in the neighborhood, and he should also receive some of those funds. And he says, no, I'm going to move on my direction the way I want to move on that direction, and I'm not really interested because I don't want to slow my process down. And so I kept telling him, slow it down just a little bit. You're investing a lot of money into this place. We want your facility to look really nice. And we want to be able to offer somewhere where older people can go in the morning times versus leaving outside our neighborhood. Every time we have to shop, unfortunately, we have to leave outside our neighborhood. I'm tired of it. If I want a dress shirt, I got to leave out the neighborhood. If I want a dress shoes or dress belt, I got to leave out my neighborhood. Then years before, we used to have businesses in there. I could buy my own stuff in my own neighborhood. But now what we're seeing is the factor that we don't have those amenities. If I want to eat breakfast, then I have to go travel to Pinecrest to go have breakfast. Why can't I have my breakfast in my own neighborhood? And why can't I have something different than McDonald's or some fast food? So I'm appreciative that the distinguished gentleman is building that. Is it uncomfortable for some folks? Maybe. But I did reach out to Mrs. Patton. She did call me. She was concerned about the piece. She made it to my attention that a tree had fallen on her vehicle, and this was probably about maybe a week or so ago, give or take. I don't have any calls in the past from Mrs. Patton as it relates to there being issues on this particular property. We don't have a record of it. And normally when people call me, I always make a record because my memory is not the best given the fact that I have 50 to 60 phone calls a day. And so I can't remember all the minute details of every conversation so quickly. I try to put a real quick summary in every note when I talk to a person. And so I'm appreciative and supportive of the citizens I represent. And so at that point, hearing that she had some problems with the tree, I did reach out to Mr. Lewis, and I told Mr. Lewis, I suggested to him that maybe he should just cut that tree down, so that way you won't have no issues. At this point, you won't have no issues with the resident moving forward. When I went into the backyard area, Ms. Patton was telling me about there was debris. I saw the fence that was there. I don't know who put the fence up. I don't know how long the fence was there, but it appeared, Madam Chairwoman, the fence had been there for quite some time. I talked to Mr. Lewis about parking, and how it would be laid out. And he showed me how he was going to asphalt a certain portion of it and then leave about 3 or 4 feet for the neighbors on the side, even though it was his property. I encouraged him to make sure that he puts a really big fence up and around that particular facility. Now, as it relates to robberies for the dollar store, because I heard that too, this has been an issue with the Family Dollar on East 167, so I want to expand it just a little bit, if I may, Madam Chairwoman. This particular situation was an inside job. You had people who were on Family Dollar robbing Family Dollar, and then even involved with some other issues. The police department failed to do their work. We don't have robberies all over our neighborhood like that. We don't have people in our regular businesses getting robbed like Family Dollar was getting robbed, and so that I would believe wouldn't pertain to this particular location. Crime is bad everywhere, and today we just don't know who's going to snap. But at the end of the day, I believe that Mr. Lewis, along with all the other businesses we're trying to bring into the neighborhood, will be a good fit to our community. He's willing to work with Mrs. Patton to put up whatever fencing necessary. And then I heard to talk about rodents. So, you know, I know that next door there was a rodent problem because I visited that lady earlier, maybe a year or so ago, and we're trying to do everything we can to help her. And she's a next door neighbor. And I think that Mr. Patton, not Miss Patton, Mr. Reese, you reached out and been helping her. So maybe you want to expand about how you've been doing that too, being a good neighbor. And I hope that as we move forward, that Mrs. Patton and Mr. Lewis will work together and have a seamless process. But when it comes to parking, and this is no bane on people who work in city planning. City planning in our neighborhood had failed our community when they put our neighborhood plan together, because when you look at all the businesses on Leroy Avenue, they all have parking issues. And 30 years ago, when we were able to receive $10 million to do Lee Road, we were able to put in offset parking concrete on that avenue to help with the relief parking, because a lot of the parking was going up and down the streets. So as we create our new Lee Road plan, we're also looking at how we deal with the parking issue, not just only in, say, this lower part, also the top part of Lee Road.
All right, thank you for your comments.
Thank you, Madam
Before we
Chairwoman.
move this to a vote, are there any other questions from the board?
We could ask the hardship question. So.
Yeah, I think I kind of heard that testimony, but if you want to directly ask it, please.
Cool. So just for the record, if these variances are not approved, what hardship will you experience? If the variances are not approved, what hardship would you experience?
Turn that mic. The mic, yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What will be the hardship? Well, you know, I completely support the program, I'm sorry.
It would be a financial hardship. We've invested a lot of money in this building. This building was extremely distressed. It had no roof, it had no floor. The outside was really a mess. So we took this building and actually rebuilt it up. You know, seeing that we can actually come in and do something nice in the community, and we can actually do a business that the community could benefit from. So I feel like it will be a financial hardship for us.
Thank you.
Okay. Do we have a city planner who would speak in this matter today? See quite a few of you all online. All right, hearing none, I will entertain a motion, please.
Madam Chair, I'm sorry, I had some questions before you move forward.
Oh, yes, please ask your questions.
I'm interested to know where that tree is located that's in question.
It's on the west side of the building in the rear. It's leaning, it's against the fence
Okay,
in the back.
all right.
In which,
It sometimes what we do in these situations is we have an arborist from the city come out and take a look at it to assess it before it is trimmed or is removed. We've had this situation in the past, so just moving that out there. I believe you indicated that you're going to stop the fence at the front of the building. The
Yes.
fence needs to be set back a proper distance from the sidewalk. So we'll need to have you submit a site plan that reflects the fence distance that is compliant with the code. I'm interested also to know the tree lawn area, particularly in front of the business, is paved all the way to the street. And it looks to me like the tree lawn areas on the site plan are drawn in as they might be grass area, but are you planning to make them grass areas, the tree lawn, and do some planting in the tree lawn areas?
No.
You're not. Okay, so you're gonna leave it as paved all the way to the street there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that gives me concern that you might have people trying to park there, and you cannot park in that area or over the sidewalk. So I would urge you to rethink that or plan to do planters or something in that area so that people cannot park on the sidewalk or directly in front of the building.
That's a good
The other
suggestion.
suggestion I have is I don't see drainage indicated on your parking lot, and you need to have it drained on site,
Mhm.
in addition to paved. And given the fact that it is a bit, it's adequate, but rather tight parking lot, I would suggest that you do indicators on the pavement for traffic flow.
Will
So
do.
that people come in one driveway and exit another driveway. So that it's clear and is better for pedestrian traffic. Where are your ADA parking spaces?
Oh, they'll be in the front.
Okay, you need to have those marked on your site plan too, please.
Will do.
So, okay, you're gonna have to you're gonna have to make some changes. I think also a condition should be, uh, so that you have, I think we'd like to see a contract for, pest control, just to alleviate that concern to the neighbors. And also, I just want to remind the neighbors that you cannot park your vehicle in your driveway within 10 feet of any opening in your building or your neighbor's building. So if you're parking next to your house, you can't do that. And I think that's all I have, Madam Chair.
All right, thank you for that, Ms. Faith. Chief Leonard, I can see that your hand is raised. Do you have comments? Or maybe that was an old hand.
Good morning. No, you had just said something about pavement to the sidewalk. So that number 3 variance request for the 6-foot frontage strip would, if they're going to pave it all the way to the sidewalk, then they would still need the variance. The
Okay.
6-foot frontage strip would alleviate that. Also, how this parking lot is configured, as well as the trees and the drive access here, all of those things will need to be approved by construction and engineering under the building permit phase, post zoning, including the trees on the lot. Those will be looked over by the arborist because there are a couple there by the drive access. And then in terms of parking, they only need 8 spaces. So if they were to have to lose some of these spaces, that wouldn't be an issue for zoning.
Okay, that is super helpful. Thank you for that. So it looks like we will move forward with the vote on all 3 variances, given that there's a landscaping strip. So you've had your opportunity to speak. I'll give you one brief moment to
Okay,
add comment.
so one brief moment, real quick. The neighborhood where we are at is from Lee Miles all the way to like right before you get to 480 Bridge. There are no businesses over there. It is strictly a residential area. But my other concern is that Joe Jones, when I talked to you and I pulled something up online about a liquor license. And I know in our community, you cannot have a liquor license in that community, in that residential area. And I know you shared with me, Mr. Joe Jones, about they just want to have this restaurant and have some mimosas and stuff like that. That's just another situation and another problem that would escalate because, like I said, it's a very, very nice, quiet neighborhood. It's very nice and quiet. And just would like to keep it that way. And no offense to the people who are trying to get the restaurant. I'm glad you have other restaurants or businesses too. I'm not trying to like shut you down or congratulations on the building, but I'm just saying problems that can arise, high possibilities, and that's it. That's all. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that. Any additional questions from the board? If not, I will entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, I move calendar number 25-097 be approved pending submission of a new site plan. And as Ms. Leonard noted, it will go through further review. The hours of operation stated are 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. and will be limited to that. And that is 7 days a week. And we would like to see, if possible, a contract or agreement attached for a pest control program. And obviously the fence is going to have to be reflected in the new site plan. With that, I move approval.
Okay, we have a motion for approval. Is there a second?
Board Member Holzer, I second.
All right, can we call the vote?
Ms. Roca?
Yes.
Ms. Holzer?
Yes.
Ms. Faith?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Calendar number 25-097 is granted conditionally. We will hold ratification until we receive those items that were stated in the conditions. Once we receive those, we'll ratify it that following Monday.
All right, your matter is concluded. I'm going to ask that you all give some contact information to your neighbors so that if there are any problems that come up, you guys can be in direct communication. All right, good luck with your project. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to call the next case. That's going to be calendar number 25-104. Absolutely. Have a good day. Is there a representative here from King Jairus Plaza LLC? Do we have anyone online from King Jairus Plaza LLC? Oh, you are present. Okay, perfect. I'll turn to Ms. Holzer to go ahead and read the case in.
Our next case is calendar number 25-104. This is at 3226 Clark Avenue. King Jairus Plaza LLC owner proposes to establish use as a space for a retail smoke shop in a general retail business zoning district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record, of which there are 3. And with that, I will hand it over to Ms. Roca for the oath.
Thank you, Ms. Holzer. I'm swearing in all who are present for this case. Do you swear or affirm that you're can you put to tell the truth and please state I do, give your name, spell your name and give your address.
Amir Nazem, AMER, NAZEM.
Sorry, that was too fast.
Yeah.
AMER, NAZEM.
Okay, and your address?
Home address or the business address?
What address you want on the public record?
21755 Country Way, Strongsville, Ohio.
And do you swear?
I swear I'm saying the truth, nothing beside the truth.
Thank you. And sir, if you could turn on your mic, please, that'd be great. And do you swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth?
I swear.
And could you give your name, state your name, spell your name, and give your address?
Nizar Nima, Nizar, Nima, NIMEH, H like a Heather. My address 18571 Glen Cairn Way, Strongsville, Ohio, 44149.
And your last name, is that N-I-M as in?
Mary.
Mary, okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Is there anyone on the call who would like to speak in this case? Anyone else in the room?
Nope.
We're here for this case?
Yeah. I'm Brittany Pavon, City Planner 601 Lakeside, and just here to speak on CPC.
Great, thank you.
All right, please come forward and join us at the table.
There are extra mics over there. All right, not hearing anyone else. Back to you, Madam Chair.
All right, we'll turn to history of the property, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's been no change in the zoning since 1929. In our Records Administration Office, we found that in 1906, there were alterations to a 2-story building on site. 1961, a garage was erected on the property. And then we see that in 2006, a permit was issued to demolish a residential structure on the property. 2009, a building violation was issued for exterior maintenance regarding a carryout restaurant. And then we see going forward from there, there was a certificate of occupancy issued in 2012 stating that the authorized use of this address is as a carryout restaurant. 2017, again, it was cited as on this certificate of occupancy issued as a Teriyaki Express carryout restaurant. And there are no variances on file, and that's all that I have.
All right, thank you, Madam Secretary. Can we have legal, please?
Madam Chair, members of the board, appellant is requesting area variances from the minimum distance and area plans requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the area variances, appellant must prove that denying the request will create practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variances will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
All right, thank you for that. Are one of you the owner of King Jairus Plaza?
I'm the owner.
You are the owner. Okay, so who would like to speak first? Okay, just state your name and go right ahead.
Your mic is off.
Imran Nazim. I'd like to say that, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to give us to appeal that. And we're here just to request the occupancy approval for Clark Smoke and Vape. We have opened in June 2022. We have done no changes to any of MAP. We have obtained approval for the permits for the sign back then. We have a attorney, we have used him for many times. He asked us to make sure to obtain everything. We get the vendor license, we get all the required sign permits, we get the Ohio sales tax, insurance, worker comp insurance, everything. Somehow the ball has fallen, and we're sorry for that we haven't got an occupancy back then. As you have mentioned, Nick Nima, he's the general manager for King Jairus Plaza. He owned multiple Little Caesar and Subway franchise, and he believes in this neighborhood. And he's a businessman. It's really good to keep him in this neighborhood. As you have mentioned, he tore down 3 deteriorated homes back then in 2007. And changed his property to this current plaza, transforming the area into a clean and safe and well-maintained retail plaza. Since 2022, we have been collecting tax around $2,000 a month and paying $63,000 in 3 years tax. We have hired a lot of local neighbors over times. Currently, we have 3 workers living in the neighborhoods there. I don't want to talk about the plaza, the smoke shop there. It's the only smoke shop in the area that have a good parking lot, private customer parking. And the only smoke shop has a pedestrian walk in the neighborhood. If you will go see all the other smoke shop in the neighborhood, it's not in well-maintained plaza, no pedestrian walk, nothing. So we're here to talk about it, and we would like not to shut us down and to keep moving in this business. We are following all the guidelines, all the safety measures, all the age verifications. So we attract customer who want safe, clean, and professional environment. And based on Google records, we have around 70 Google review with 5 stars. That shows how we are well commitment to this, our business. Based on this, we would like you to, and when we have opened in 2022, it was lawful when we have opened. So we would like to ask for occupancy approval based on our clean record, our strong community investment, and our promise to all city rules. Keep the store clean, professional, hire from the locals. Be positive as a part of Clark Avenue. If you shut us down, we have 3 workers there. We will terminate agreement with our CPA, with our attorney, with our ADT, everything's. So we would like to stay in business since when we have opened in 2022, we were lawful. Thank you.
All right. Do you want to give comment as well?
I would like to add something.
Please.
Give me just 2-3 minutes. Since 2006, when I start build this building, I remember the councilman, I think his name Jose or something. And he told me this is before the build this building, 5-6 houses, it's closed.
and a lot of garbage around and this one. And he recommended me because I was open business in West 25th and he customer with me. I'm on the subway a long time ago. And he told me, what do you think you open something in a Clark? And I saw 3, 4 houses, 5 houses, it's closed and a lot of garbage around and this. Maybe you buy it cheap, maybe you do something. I said, why not? I look at it and I told him, but I don't have enough money to do this. And he told me, we try, give you loan, the city, they give you loan without interest. I said, we try. Anyway, it doesn't work with the loan with the city, but I start. And the councilman, he told me, you do great job. This is a beautiful plaza. We want to support you. We have to do something together. I met with him and with the other lady, I don't remember what her name, which is really good business, and I make like a Clark Avenue so beautiful. And lately, about the vape shop, we hired the guy with the city here. And we told him they asked us occupancy, which is we have all the permit. What the occupancy? Maybe I have heavy accent and I don't understand English very well. And I told him, what do you mean occupancy? He said, we have to take all the permit and the last approved. I said, okay, then get it. And I pay him $700 since maybe before, guys, you sent me the letter, maybe 2 months, $700. And he said, okay, don't worry, I make the blueprinter and they did this one. And the last minute, we received the letter, you don't have any occupancy and you have about the legal, about the zoo, you have to close your store, you have to do something. What we came here now, we want to tell you the truth. This is whatever it's happened. When we find out we have to send this letter or we have to put it with the city, maybe between we find out until we put the application here, maybe 1 week or 2 weeks, I don't remember. Which is if I, because I have heavy accent or I don't understand what they mean occupancy that time, we have to shut the store down. We spend in this store almost $200,000. And this is,
Okay. Thank you for your comment.
Okay, thank you.
Pabon, do you want to give comment?
Thank you for having me. I spoke with these two gentlemen last month. They came in and described their hardship, and I let them know about their due process and the design review process as well as the CA, just to get everything according to plan as well as lawful. And they are here today to explain that process to you. And I think Shannon will have a bit more information on the legalities on the new code that passed on March 16th.
Okay, so when it comes to having a smoke shop in this retail business district, is it your department's position to support this?
I'll say no comment on support. You know, I think that the city put a process in place to reduce smoke shops just because it's just so saturated now when it comes to it. And this isn't targeted to your business. This is just the fact that now we have these borders or buffers to other smoke shops. You just unfortunately fall into one of those borders. So it isn't targeted to you. This presentation, you will probably see this multiple times as new variances come needed for more smoke shops, but no comment on support.
Okay, any questions from the board?
Yes, Madam Chair, I do have a question. So this, as I understand it from the testimony you've heard today, this smoke shop opened in 2022, is that correct?
Correct.
When did this smoke shop ordinance that you referenced pass?
This was, I'm sorry, April 16th of this year.
Of 2025.
Madam
Of
Chair.
2024. 2024, right, Shannon?
Chief, yes, I can see that your hand is raised. Please go right ahead.
Yeah, if we could go back to the beginning of this presentation, I'm going to give you guys a quick presentation that was put together by Xavier. Brittany, I think or Liz, you're running the presentation. Can you go to the next slide? Next slide, please. So, just to give you guys some context here, so the city of Cleveland and city council and the administration, in conjunction with the Department of Public Health, uh, realized that there was a huge public health crisis happening across our city, in terms of the smoke shops and the amount of them that were popping up on every corner, and then the lack of tobacco retail license from the city level, which essentially prohibited the city from being able to go in and do health inspections of these smoke shops, many of which are selling a variety of products that the state allows. And so council worked with zoning as well as city planning and public health to, really kind of rein in this public health crisis that we were having, especially in front of a lot of our residential neighborhoods and schools. And so in 26, back on April 14th, they passed the smoke shop ordinance under 347.241. And what the smoke shop ordinance does is it sets up the 2-mile buffer. So no new smoke shops within a 2-mile range of another, and then not within 500 feet of a church, a public library, a public playground, public park, or school. And that was really recognizing the public health issue that we have. There's a lot of substances being sold in these facilities that alter the mind. And so what you're seeing in this first slide is the saturation map. These are permits that were submitted since January or even late last year that did not currently have an occupancy permit. And then the permits submitted with the certificate of occupancy in green is what has been submitted since July 2025. Next slide, please. And so what you see here are the ones that have certificates of occupancy, as well as the buffer zone, where there's education or recreation buffer across the whole city. Next slide, please. And then the legally established smoke shops that we've seen already across the city are located in the green dots here. And those are all most of them are within those 2-mile buffers that surround them. Next slide. And then here what you see again is just another image showing that there's some legally established smoke shops across the city. We do have about 100 permits in. Most of those will likely receive their occupancy permits, and the others already fall within that 2-mile buffer. Next slide, please. And then again, this is just giving you an example of this specific smoke shop. There is already a legally established smoke shop down the street. Next slide. And this is showing you the distance. So theirs is located here on Clark, and then the other one is located on West 25th Street. It's already been legally established, and that's why they fall within that 2-mile buffer. Next slide. Again, this is also showing you that this Clark address is directly adjacent to a school. So they are automatically within that 500-foot buffer. And this really speaks to the public health, safety, and welfare issues that the council and city planning and public health had as it relates to the proximity of these smoke shops to where our children are at. Next slide. Again, just giving you where the school is located. It's directly adjacent to this specific smoke shop. Next slide, please. And again, so the whole purpose of this section is to regulate the location of smoke shop to protect the public health, safety, and welfare of all Clevelanders. It's to protect neighborhoods from negative externalities and secondary effects created by the concentration and clustering of these businesses. And it's also to avoid and reduce the oversaturation of these types of businesses. As Brittany stated, there are several applications in following this ordinance as well as this specific smoke shop. And so, there is a real concern about where these are located and in the proximity to our schools and residential areas as well as our public institutions. Next slide. Yep, you can go back to the former slide, but essentially that's really what the intent was. This was recently passed legislation I was informed by the assistant director that city planning does not support this smoke shop at this location. And that specifically related to the fact that this ordinance was passed back in April. And any application that we received after April, we had to enforce this ordinance. Thank you.
Okay, Chief, do you know anything about sort of what happened in June of 2022 where they received some approvals, but perhaps not all? I just want to make sure that they don't have a vested right before this law was passed.
No, they do not have any permit approvals for a smoke shop at
Okay.
this location. They do have an approval for a sign, but the sign doesn't have any weight on, it's a totally different permit than an occupancy
Right.
permit.
Okay, perfect. Thanks for confirming that. All right,
I just have
you
one.
were asking questions. Yes, go right
One
ahead.
question for Ms. Leonard, Madam Chair. Is the law immediately effective upon passage, or is there a time frame, a gap between when it passed and when it's effective?
Yeah, so it was an emergency ordinance. It was a pack of 4. So there was a ordinance around the clustering of smoke shops. There was a tobacco retail license. There was a signage requiring no more than 25% of wall and window signage. And then something around fines as it relates to tobacco retail licensing. All of those passed on April 14th, and because they were an emergency measure, they became effective April 16, 2025. And then I just want to clarify from Director Margolius from Public Health that even though they may have a state tobacco tax license, they will not have a City of Cleveland retail license because there was a 180-day buffer from 4/16 for that program to start, and then there would be another 180 days for people to become tobacco retail license compliant with the City of Cleveland. But as it pertains to the smoke shop clustering ordinance, that became effective on April 16th, 2025.
Thank
Okay,
you for clarifying.
and Chief, what is the date of their application with us?
Their application came in on, let me go back to the permit history. It came in on May 6, 2025. And that was probably as a result of a couple violation notices.
Yep. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for that. All right, any other questions from the board? Okay, I'll let you give another comment.
Yeah, would we have submit the permits for the sign called Clark Smoke and Vape? It's clearly mentioned it's a smoke and vape. When we start operate in June, again, I would like to say that we were lawful. If you will take a look at our plaza, excuse me just to say about the plaza, it's the well-maintained plaza in the street. All the other smoke shops that she is trying to refer to, if you take a look at it, there is a lot of small, lower standard shop nearby. If you will keep this stay open, they will let them to continue and we will shut down. So please do not try to shut it down. And we're sorry that in 2022, we haven't applied for the occupancy. Somewhere the ball has fallen. We tried to always make sure to follow the rules. We're here to make it correct back again.
Go ahead.
We don't understand one thing. The problem is between April 16 to 6 or between each smoke shop 2 miles. We have on Clark Avenue and West 25th within 1 mile, 9 store vape. 9 store. And if you want, I send you the picture, I send you the address. They put vape shop.
They're all in low standard plaza. Sorry.
And the only store, it's not close to the school like the other store. Like, for example, just maybe half a mile or less, the vape shop, Lincoln School behind him. Go to the West 25th, to school behind him. Come back to Clark, go up Fulton, 2 store vape shop. Within 1 mile or 2 miles, I don't exactly, I wanted to use 9 stores, 9 vape shop, which is, when she said is 2 miles from each store, then you have to close the 8 store, you keep 1 store. But if you close us and you keep 8 store, this is not fair. The second, I would like to tell us the legally, or the whatever the rule, whatever the city, whatever the zone we follow. If she tell us the problem is April 16 to May 6 or the 2 miles, this is the issue. What she talking about 2 miles. 2 miles didn't close 8 store. But if she talking about April 16 to May 6, which is this is it's you I want to lose $200,000-$300,000 for just 5-6 days or 2 weeks. This is that's it.
Again, when we start the operation, when we start collecting tax, we were lawful. And we were lawful. When we started in June 22, there was this law that she's referring to wasn't in place, right? So we were lawful.
But you didn't have an occupancy permit at that time.
As I said, like we're sorry, somehow the ball has fallen.
We're thinking if we put LLC, we're thinking if we have permit for electric, we have permit for the water, we have permit for the building, we have permit for everything. We think that's it. When we did this vape, smoke shop, Clark Avenue, and everything done, it's not my fault. Maybe the last before April 16, I told my engineer, he worked here, I know him. He said, no, I take care of it, which is his fault, but this doesn't mean nothing. It's my fault. But if I fill the application before April 16, which is I keep my store open, which is my 2 weeks. I lost my store for 2 weeks.
Okay, so we have a court reporter who's taken down everything that we're saying. So if you guys are speaking at the same time,
I'm sorry.
it makes it difficult for her.
Apologize.
So if you're done, then you can chime in.
Madam Chair, I'll ask my question if
Okay.
I can.
Please.
Just with regard to the legal standard that you all have to meet, can you describe for the board the difficulty that you'll face and any substantial property rights that you'll be denied if you are not granted this variance today?
If you shut us down, this is what you're trying to ask. If you shut it down, we have now currently 3 employees. We have to let them go. We have lost a lot of money back there since we have opened. And just to let you know that we believe in this community. In the past 3 years, our store get robbed 3 times. And we still believe to enhance safety and measures in this. We will cancel the ADT. We will cancel the CPA agreement. All this, we will lose a lot of money. As he said, we have invested more than $200,000 in this store. If you will stop by and see how it's well cleaned, the windows, everything. So there is a financial impact. There's people will get, unfortunately, we'll let them go because they're living in this community. The 3 people who works currently in the store living in this community. The taxes that we collect, as I said, we collect tax around 63 since we have opened $63,000, around $2,000 a month. So this will all go. So there's going to be financial impact in big time. Yep.
Thank you.
Chief, did you have an additional comment or is that an old
Yeah.
hand?
Yeah, I
Okay.
just wanted to clarify that, running a business in the city of Cleveland requires an occupancy permit. I believe the owner of the plaza has several businesses within this plaza besides the smoke shop. And people did file for occupancy permits for smoke shops dating back to 2021. So they could have done it. The difference here is that this law did pass earlier this year in reference to the smoke shops that are, were popping up on every corner. But because, this is in effect, they were required to submit applications for permits. But there's no occupancy permit for this actual business on file. So, either way, they needed an occupancy permit, even if it was for general retail or a convenience store, they could have done that. So just to give that context, those permits are required regardless.
All right. Thank you for that, Chief.
Yep.
All right. Any other questions from the board? All right. I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, given the testimony we've heard today, I move a denial of calendar number 25-104.
All right, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Board Member Roca, I second.
All right, can we call the vote?
Ms. Holzer,
No.
Ms. Roca,
Yes.
Ms. Faith,
No,
Ms. Wilson.
Yes.
Madam Chair, there is a tie vote. If anyone feels like they want to make another motion, they may, but with the tied vote, that means the variance is denied.
All right, so we have a tie vote. Is there another movement? Does anyone else want to make another motion?
Madam Chair, I move approval of calendar number 25-104.
All right, we have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, can we call the vote?
Ms. Roca,
No.
Ms. Faith,
Yes.
Ms. Holzer,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson.
Yes.
So calendar number 25-104 is granted. It'll be ratified next Monday. We will send the appellant a letter.
Okay, that concludes your matter. Check back in with us next week for your ratification.
We'll check next week.
Yes, your calendar item has been approved, so your variance is granted. It will take 1 week for it to process, so you can check back in with us next week.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank
All
you.
right. Good luck with your project. We're gonna now call the next case, which we are now at calendar number 25-016. This is at 1037 Starkweather Avenue. Do we have someone present from Starkweather Holdings? Okay, I can see your hand is raised online. I'll have Ms. Hoser read in the case.
Our next case is calendar number 25-106. This is at 1037 Starkweather Avenue. Starkweather Holdings proposes to establish use as a Pilates and wellness bar, parenthetically yoga, in a two-family residential district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record, of which there are two. And with that, I will hand it over to Ms. Roca for the oath.
Thank you, Ms. Holzer. I'm swearing in all who are present for this case. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth? Please raise your hand, state I do, state your name, spell your name, and give your address. Ms. Gregonis, we'll start with you. Well, I guess, there you go.
I do. Donna Gregonis, 2406 Professor Avenue is our address of the office. Thank you.
Thank you. And sir?
Yep, I do. My name is Jacob Zaris. I live at 14819 Lake Avenue in Lakewood, Ohio.
Can you please spell your last name?
Yeah, S like Sam, Z like zebra, A-R-A, Z as in zebra.
And then do you swear?
I do.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else on the call? Anyone in the room who'd like to speak on this matter? I'm hearing none. Back to you, Madam Chair.
All right, we'll go to history of the property, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The property was originally zoned semi-industry in 1929. In 2010, it was changed to the current zoning of two-family. We found very little for this address in the Records Administration Office. We did find, though, through our more recent system, the Acela system, that the authorized use of the property is as first floor commercial with 3 residential units. And the ownership of the property is identified as Pulaski, or as it was on April of 2021 as Pulaski Post 30. And that's all that I have. Thank you.
Okay, can we have legal, please?
Madam Chair, members of the board, appellant is requesting a use variance and an area variance from the parking requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the use variance, appellant must prove that denying the request will create an unnecessary hardship particular to the property, such that there will be no economically feasible use of the property without the variance, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code. To obtain the area variance, appellant must prove that denying the request will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
All right, thank you for that. I will now turn to the project team. Jacob, do you want to tell us about your project?
Yeah. So as mentioned, I'm Jake Zaris, registered engineer in the state of Ohio. I'm representing Lizandra Gonzalez. She's the owner of Vital Pilates and Wellness Bar. She has a location in Lakewood, Ohio, and she's looking to expand into a second location. I do have to mention that the current owners of this property, 1037 Starkweather Avenue LLC, asked me to mention that if anything is approved here today, it's a conditional approval, which won't be finalized until we finalize either the sale of the property or a lease agreement with them, which we're currently working on. And then with that, I'll move into this project. So I believe this building has been vacant since 2021 or for several years. It was one of the old Polish Legion clubs. There was a bar, kind of restaurant on the first floor, and then the apartments on the second floor. The building hasn't been maintained very well, so there's a bunch of structural issues. There's a big hole in the side of the roof. There's leaks everywhere. The apartments on the second floor are non-livable. And our plan is to move in and convert the first floor to mimic the business that she has in Lakewood, which is a reformer Pilates and juice and wellness bar. So they serve cold pressed juices. They have grab and go snacks, some health food options, and then reformer Pilates exercise on the first floor. The second floor would be converted to a hot reformer mat studio with showers and locker rooms. So those are the existing plans that you're showing there. This is the first floor. Go back one. Yep. So there's the first floor where you can see. Oh. Yep, that one. So there's the first floor where you can see where guests would enter in. There's a little lounge area to hang out, grab a snack, work, and then kitchen in the corner there, reception counter, and then off to the side there, that's the reformer machines in the workout area. Small little restroom in the back and laundry. And then if you go to the second floor plan, so this is the second floor. You can see those rectangles on the ground there. Those are all mats. That's where they would do the heated mat classes. And then off to the side there are the men's and women's restrooms / locker rooms. And then a small little office in the corner. Sorry about that. Yes, so that's pretty much sums up what she's looking to do. As far as the parking requirements, there are 2 parcels as part of this deal. So the one parcel ends in, it's 004-21-011. That is the parcel that has the building and the rectangular strip down the, I think that would be the west side. There is another parcel that is 004-21-047. And with that, the 2 parcels combined on the site plan, you can see that we would be able to accommodate 27 parking spaces.
All right, this is noted. Thank you so much. Ms. Grigonis, I will turn to you now for comment.
Good morning or afternoon. Good morning still, Madam Chair and members of the Board of Zoning Appeals. So I've been working with Jake, the applicant, for a while now on this project. And when I saw this come through the agenda as a bar, I was actually really caught off guard. But understanding that there is no liquor license being sought, I think it was just sort of something that might have been, just triggered in the application process. And then the secondary parcel that's attached to this one that Jacob mentioned does have more than ample parking here, as mentioned. And I wanted to reiterate that this bar or this location has long been used as a bar. The former Polish club, as we had a few of those in the neighborhood. And this has been sitting vacant for a long time. And, this is in the historic landmarks district. So, the sort of uses that I've seen this building be proposed as have been sort of all over the board. And this has not gone through the official Economic and Real Estate Development Committee meeting yet, as this sort of came through more quickly than anticipated through the Board of Zoning Appeals. But I would assume that if it were to go through, this would be the type of use that would be celebrated, I would assume, but I can't speak for the committee. And the residents have not seen it yet either. So we would ask that this go through the formal review if and when we do get to that point. But we would continue to like to work with Mr. Saraz, moving forward. We do think in good faith that he would be a good addition to the neighborhood. And I wanted to add that I believe that this would qualify for a storefront renovation program in addition to some other grants that we could help you apply for if you do continue to work ahead with this. But that's all. So I was just a little surprised that this came through so quickly. Wish we had a little bit more heads up to do some more due diligence on the community side. But we do appreciate the Board of Zoning Appeals willingness to hear Tremont West's, community input. So thanks very much.
All right, thank you for that. Madam Secretary, I do want to confirm that we have authorization from the actual owners of the property for Mr. Jacob to speak on their behalf.
I, in fact, do not see that in the file yet. So.
Okay. So Jacob.
I do have that letter. I do have that authorization letter signed by them, so I can email that over to you guys.
Okay, yes, please do email that over. Any other questions from the board?
Madam Chair, I have a question regarding the parking. So is there still a need for the variance? The testimony that you provided is that you would have 27 spaces and you need 25. And it says in the agenda that you're only proposing 5, but is that incorrect? Has this lot been consolidated, or can you just speak more to that? Just trying to figure out if you need the second variance or not.
Yeah, so the lots are not consolidated. That's something that we would do if we took possession of the property or when we finalize the deal with the current owners. So technically, if you're just basing it off the one lot, I guess we would need the variance, but it is a package deal, and our purchase agreement with them does have the purchase of both lots, so I don't think it's necessary, but I was mainly seeking the variance just to switch the zoning is kind of what we're after. Just knowing that we're going to be able to get the approval for the use group before we purchase a building that we can't do what we want to do is really the big thing for me.
All right, Chief Leonard, can you speak to that? We have a variance on the table where there's 25 parking spaces needed, but because there's 2 separate lots, it looks like the variance has been triggered. So given that they proposed 27 spots, which albeit on a separate lot, do we still need to move forward with the vote? Chief, do we have you here with us? Uh-oh.
Madam
Chief says her microphone died.
Maybe could she type it in the chat?
Yeah.
Madam Chair, a variance would still be needed for the use. It is in a 2-family residential district.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm particularly concerned about though variance number 2, which states that 25 parking spaces are required, 5 are proposed, but 27 are proposed.
I do have a
So
letter.
technically, the parcel, so you see the rectangular piece to the right of the existing building when you come down that apron? That shows 15 parking spots. That is the same. That's the same parcel that the building is listed on. So technically, there's 15 spots showing there.
Can you hear me?
And then,
Oh, yes, Chief, we can hear you.
The parking that they're showing here doesn't appear to be to code, and that's why the plans examiner wrote them for the parking. So they would need the parking space variance. And I just want to clarify that the 3 times the greater is because we're limited based on the code that looks at gyms and recrees. We really don't have a classification for boutique type centers. And so in this case, the location of it, it's not in a TOD. It requires that amount of parking, the 3 times the gross floor area. But the parking spaces, what they look at is the navigation in the parking and whether there'd actually be enough room for the flow of traffic as well.
Okay, got it. So it sounds like we are voting on that second variance. All right. Any other questions from the board before we entertain a motion?
I have a letter, Madam Chair, if you'd like me to read
You
it. real
do,
quick.
please, go right ahead.
Sure, this is from Chris Peacock, spelled Pekoc at 1028 Starkweather. Dear zoning appeal members, regarding this address and this calendar number, I oppose the variances that Starkweather Holdings are seeking for 1037 Starkweather Avenue as they propose Pilates and yoga wellness business at that location, which is in a residential district. Commercial businesses belong in general retail business. As for parking, Starkweather Holdings says they need 5 parking spots. As for parking, Starkweather Holdings says they need 5 parking spots for their proposed business. Tremont is already overparked. We don't need our parking situation to be stressed even more. City Ordinance Section 355.04C states that 25 parking spaces are required for commercial business, not 5. In closing, he opposes the variances requested. And that's Chris Peacock, 1028 Starkweather Avenue. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that. Any other questions from the board?
Madam Chair, just for the record, if the appellant could state that they have no intention of serving alcohol or seeking an alcohol license.
yes, we would never serve alcohol or never intend to serve alcohol. That's a wellness bar, so just fresh pressed juices.
Great. Just wanted that for the record. And what is your total number of parking spaces that you will have?
The plan that I have shows 27 spaces.
Okay. Super. I have no further questions, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, I
Okay.
don't think we heard the hours of operation and days of the week and staffing.
All right, can you speak to
Yeah.
that, please, Jacob?
Yeah, so this is us open 7 days a week. Typically during the weekdays, Monday through Friday, they have classes starting at 6:30 a.m. until 8 p.m. at night. And then on the weekends, they usually do morning classes around 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
All right, thank you for that.
Sorry.
And just your
employees.
Go ahead.
Yeah, employees, probably there would be 5 to 6 employees that would work the juice bar area, and then another 5 to 10 instructors that run the various classes.
Thank you for that.
All right, so Jacob, if you could lower your hand, that will help me to know who still needs to speak and who doesn't. Chief Leonard, I can see your hand is raised. Is that intentional or is that an old hand?
It's intentional.
All right.
The other option is to just to maybe think about the use variance, but not the parking variance. They do need to go through landmarks and the Tremont Local Design Review Committee, which is what Mr. Brunges just informed me of from Landmarks Commission.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
I think there's a parking solution here that's more than 5 parking spaces, just maybe not the way that it's depicted on this site plan.
Okay.
Or Madam Chair, if we decide to grant this variance today, it would be a minimum of 5. If they want to provide more, they can, but at least this board would be agreeing to the 5. And you, and if you'd like, you can wait for an updated site plan, or we could just use what we have on file.
Okay. I like that. Donna, I can see that your hand is raised. Do you have, look at me, I caught you at a bad time. Okay, go ahead if you're ready. You're on mute though.
Thank you again. So I put it in the comments, but I just wanted to reiterate, and I think Ms. Leonard mentioned it. I just wanted to make sure that we went through the Landmarks Commission, which I know we would have to anyway if this were to get approved. And additionally, I want to make sure that we go to the community for this, because sometimes, you know, there are some really productive conversations here. And before, I just want to make sure that we talk to the community, because as Chris Peacock, the neighbor, mentioned, you know, everyone thinks this is a bar, or we don't know about the parking, and some of these items that could have been worked out had we just worked together for a couple of weeks before this came to the Board of Zoning Appeals. You know, these items could have all been fleshed out right before this. So I do have some, assuming that the community and everyone is amenable, there are some alternatives to the parking solution that we have, and I could work with Mr. Zaraz to do that. They're all within a 3-minute walk from the location. And then another thing that is a concern is the curb, you know, the parking on the tree lawn here that's shown. I know that that's sort of there, but not necessarily legal, but that's not this conversation here today, I don't think. And then want to really make sure that this is spoken with the community, and the hours of operation, et cetera. So thank you.
All right, thank you. And Jacob, your hand remains up. Do you have additional comment?
yeah, just wanted to mention that we have gone through the Landmarks Commission already and received approval pending one additional item that we're going to handle administratively. So we've already checked that box.
Okay, that is noted. All right, any other questions from the board? All right, I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, given the testimony we've heard today, with the conditions, Landmarks has already been, as the appellant says, checked off the box. We would like to see them engage with the community. And Ms. Grigonis can let us know when that's happened. We have noted hours of operation as 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 6:30 to 8 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday, 9 to 1 p.m. And with that, I move approval, excuse me, of calendar 25-106.
All right, I'm going to just add a friendly amendment that he also submits the document that shows approval from the owner for him to speak. So that'll be an additional condition of the motion. Is there a second?
Thank
Board
you.
Member Holzer, I second.
All right, no problem, Ms. Faith. Can we call the vote?
Madam Chair, would you like to hold this until we receive a better parking plan? What they've given us shows 27. That we know that's not possible.
Yes, we would say an updated site plan to include the actual parking conditions. So there's another friendly amendment.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. And do we have a second? I missed that.
Ms.
And
Holzer
then Ms.
seconded.
Holzer, do you maintain your second based on the friendly amendments?
I do.
All right, let's call the vote.
Ms. Roca?
Yes.
Ms. Holzer?
Yes.
Ms. Faith?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Calendar number 25-106 is granted conditionally. We will hold ratification until we receive an updated drawing showing a more accurate site plan and the authorization letter. Are we holding it for after a community meeting, or do we want to report back?
I don't think we should. I think we should focus on the site plan and
And the authorization.
In the authorization,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, so we'll hold it until we receive those two items. Once we receive it, we'll ratify it that following Monday.
All right, so your project has been conditionally granted, Jacob. You will engage with those conditions and make sure that information is submitted. And if so, then you can get your approval.
Okay, and then we won't finalize anything until we close with the owners, correct? Is there a way to do that?
That's between them.
Yeah, that's not on the table here. You guys can move forward doing your business. And we're gonna push this forward as soon as we receive the documents from you.
Okay.
All right, we're now gonna.
Ms. Leonard, could you advise who the applicant could speak to about getting help with the parking, updating the parking drawing to be more accurate?
Yeah, good morning. They can continue to work with Landmarks to finish their process. And then if they need additional help, I'm sure Mr. Brunges, Carl Brunges in Landmarks can help them work through with maybe the Division of Construction Engineering for a parking lot. I mean, any architect should be able to help them as well.
Thank you.
All right, so that concludes that calendar number. We're now gonna call the next case. This is calendar number 25-107. This is at 3311 West 73rd Street. Do we have an appellant present for this matter?
Yes, good morning. This is Brian Grambort with Heedy D. Francisco and Siebold, the architect.
Okay, thank you for that. We're gonna have Ms. Hoser read in the case.
Madam Chair, I'm going to need to recuse from this case. This is a CHN project. I wasn't aware that Mr. Marcus wasn't, or Madison wasn't going to be here today to vote, so.
So we'll just have you read it. It's okay?
Okay.
You can refrain from voting.
Sounds good. And I don't know if it's worth reiterating to the appellant that now they would be down to 3 members of the board.
Reiterating, Brian, I'm sorry, I can't see your last name, but we just want to let you know that we have one member who has recused, and we also have one member who is absent today. So given that you only have 3 board members who will vote on your project, and you do have the right to postpone the case until we have a full complement of 5 members. What's your preference, sir?
I'd prefer to present today, as long as understanding the 3 board members can still provide an official vote.
Yes,
Determination.
absolutely. That
Yep.
is a quorum. Okay,
Yep,
as long as you're
great.
willing to move forward, we'll do that. All right.
Absolutely.
I will read it in and then I will recuse myself. Our next case is calendar number 25-107. This is at 3311 West 73rd Street and 7275 Neville Avenue. The City of Cleveland Land Reutilization Program and Cleveland West Veterans Housing LP proposed to erect a 3-story, 62-unit apartment building for aging and homeless veterans in a B3 semi-industry district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland codified ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record, of which there is one, with a note that a lot consolidation is required, as well as City Planning Commission approval. And with that, I will hand over to Ms. Roca for the oath, and we'll
Thank you, Ms. Holzer. I'm swearing in all who are present for this case. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Please raise your hand, reply with I do, state your name, spell your name, and give your address. I see there are multiple people in the room with you, Mr. Grambort. So we'll have you start.
Yes, I'll be the only one presenting. Brian Grambort, that is BrianGrambort. Address is 1939 West 25th Street, Suite 300, Cleveland, Ohio. And I swear to tell the truth.
Thank you. And anyone, there you go, sir. Go ahead.
My name is Troy Oblack, Oblack. Address is 1939 West 25th Street, Suite 300, and I swear as well.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the room with you that needs to swear in?
No.
Okay, great. And I did, Mr. Lull, are you going to speak in this matter?
Yes, good morning, everybody. Nate Lull with Cleveland City Planning. I'm joining virtually due to a scheduling conflict and might have to leave pretty soon here. But Nate Lull, 601 Lakeside Avenue, I do.
Thank you. And is there anyone else who wishes to speak in this matter? Anyone in the room? Hearing none, back to you, Madam Chair.
All right, thank you for that. I will start with you, Mr. Grambort. Can you please tell, oh, hold on one second. Madam Secretary is flagging me down here.
History of the property.
Why would I skip history of the property? Please give us history of the property, Madam
Thank you.
Secretary.
So there's been no change in the zoning since 1929. And for both of these addresses, we found a bunch of information in the Records Administration Office from the, starting in 1911 regarding a foundry building and a warehouse and additions and office addition and enlargements and so on and so forth. But it looks as though as 1946, I believe, a permit was issued to demolish the foundry on the property. 1964, a permit was issued to erect a wire fence. There are no variances on file. And that is again for both of those addresses. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that. Can we have legal, please?
Madam Chair, members of the board, appellant is requesting an area variance from the parking requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the area variance, appellant must prove that denying the request will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
All right, thank you for that. Now, it's your time. Mr. Grambort, go ahead and give us your comments.
Great. Thank you so much to the board this morning for hearing our proposal. So this development is a low income housing tax credit project directed for veterans. And it is an understanding that majority of these veterans will be seniors. So affordable housing for veterans at need in the area who are experiencing housing instability. So I think the photos that you're seeing are kind of the residential surrounding neighborhood. And the building has already been through Planning Commission, Design Review and Planning Commission, and received those approvals. I should say that as affordable housing and permanent supportive housing, our client, CHN Housing Partners, as a reputable and history practice of this type of housing, we have existing facilities of this type that show that a 1-to-3 parking ratio, so 1 parking spot per 3 dwelling units, is actually appropriate and sufficient for this type of development and demographic. As a LIHTC project, also I should mention that this building will remain this function and with this ownership for decades. So there's really no immediate chance or in the near future chance of this changing to, say, like market rate housing. So it will remain this function for a very long time. So this building has 62 one-bedroom units, and the current approved layout by Planning Commission and Design Review includes 32 parking spaces. The parking lot is enclosed, secured for the safety of the residents. So there's no chance for additional parking of the neighbors or otherwise within this parking lot. This is primarily for guests, residents, and staff. As such, we understand certainly that with new construction developments like this, there are serious questions about overparking and overburdening the surrounding neighborhood. Again, I would say that based on real proven facilities that are within the city of Cleveland, the 1-to-3 parking ratio again is definitely sufficient. We are beyond that. We're over 1-to-2 parking spots per dwelling unit. So hopefully that gives you a sense of what we're looking for and our rationale. The hardship on this in this case would be the size of the parcel. So if we kind of stop right here, what you see hopefully kind of in the, the light shaded area behind the building is the parking lot. Now, what might seem like a lot of green space, actually in the top right-hand corner, the triangular space, we were just notified that that portion is going to have to be removed from this development. Apparently, during the foreclosure sale, those parcels up there were still under the Cleveland Paste company that owned the parcels a long time ago. So we have to remove all of that, move the underground rainwater, stormwater detention to underneath the parking lot where it's currently designed. So going to a 1-to-1 ratio, I don't think actually would even fit on the site. In addition, the additional impervious pavement that would be required by the parking lot would increase the detention size and actually increase the burden of stormwater management on the local infrastructure and the beyond the site. So we feel that the cost impact on the affordable housing development and the impact on the surrounding utilities would be a hardship that the city would also have to bear. So I think at this time, I'd be open to any questions, certainly, in any discussion.
Okay, can you remind me the name of your company?
Oh, yeah, I apologize. Hiti, DeFrancisco, and Siebold, we're the project architects.
Okay, and you do have authorization from the property owner to speak on their behalf today?
We do, that's correct. Yeah, that was sent by email as part of the application for this BZA hearing.
Perfect. All right, thanks for confirming that. Mr. Lull, do you want to give your comment?
Thank you, Nate Lull with Cleveland City Planning. Brian really stated it perfectly. This type of housing development is not typically associated with like a 1-to-1 parking ratio due to the type of housing that it is. Additionally, they've provided on-site bike storage, I think both interior to the site as well as some short-term exterior bike parking. And this area of Cleveland, while not in our transportation demand management zone, which is our high frequency transit zone, also is served by 2 bus lines. So there are a number of options for getting around without the need for a private vehicle. Additionally, there's on-street parking nearby this facility. So there's a number of alternative options for parking if needed. So to close, we are in support of these variances, and the applicant has also completed their city planning commission approval, and so this is their last step before permitting for our process. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that. Any questions from the board?
Madam Chair, yes, I have a couple of questions. Mr. Lull answered 2 of my questions with regard to BART parking and access to public transit. But I am curious, and I'm sure they've thought this through, but what the flow through will be for paratransit vehicles on site, as I'm sure this is it's going to be demand a lot of paratransit service.
Yeah, definitely. I can certainly speak to that. I'm sorry that the plan that we're looking at is a little hard to read, but the paratransit would absolutely be provided access into the parking lot where there is a spot for waiting pickup, shuttles, those types of transportation connections. So that would all be handled within the site, certainly.
Okay, and that paratransit staging area has both seating and is covered and protected from the elements?
There is a connection to the outdoor, a covered connection. Yes, that's correct.
Okay, great. That concludes my questions, Madam Chair.
All right, thank you for that, Ms. Faith. Any other questions? All right, I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Chair.
Nope, go ahead, Ms. Roca.
Given the testimony we've heard today, I move that we approve calendar number 25-107.
I'll second that.
All right, let's call the vote.
Ms. Roca?
Yes.
Ms. Faith?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Calendar number 25-107 is granted. It'll be ratified next Monday, and we will send the appellant a letter. He can contact us next Wednesday for further instruction.
All
Thank you
right,
so
you're
much.
all set. You're very welcome. Have a good day.
You as well.
Thank you. We're now going to move to calendar number 25-108. This is at 9600 Lorraine Avenue. Do we have an appellant present for this matter? Anyone here from 22985 Lorraine Road Holdings LLC?
Hello.
Oh, hi. Are you here on behalf of 9600 Lorraine Road Holdings?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I'll have Ms. Hoser read in the case for us, please.
Our next case is calendar number 25-108. This is at 9600 Lorraine Avenue, 22985 Lorraine Road Holdings LLC. Owner proposes to install a 6-foot tall board-on-board fence in a C2 local retail business district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record, of which there is one. With that, I will hand it over to Ms. Roca for the oath.
Thank you, Ms. Holzer. I'm swearing in all who are present for this case. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth? Please raise your hand, state I do, state your name, spell your name, and give your address. I'll start with you on the phone.
Hi, yes. My name is Bria Fluker, and I do a test. And my spelling of my name is Bria, B as in Brad, R-I-A. Last name is Fluker, F as in Frank, L as in Larry, U-K-E-R. And this is on behalf of for Bailey's Dream Childcare. It's the business that's located at this address.
Thank you very much. And I'll move to you.
Carl Brunges, 601 Lakeside. I do.
Thank you. And anyone else on the call or in the room who wishes to speak in this matter? I'm not seeing anyone, Madam Chair, so back to you.
All right, with that, we'll go to history of the property, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This property was originally zoned general retail in 1929. In 2012, it was changed to local retail business district. In our Records Administration Office, we found that in 1930, a permit was issued to erect a one-story gas station with canopy. In 1941, a permit was issued to raise the roof of a 12 by 12 section to add a tower. 1962, a permit was issued for an addition to a restaurant. 1976, a permit was issued to remodel the front of the restaurant. 1996, there were alterations to change use to antique retail sales. Signage was erected in 1998. Signage again, neon window sign in 2000. And then again in 2002, a neon window sign was permitted by Landmarks. And then there is one variance on file in calendar 96-88. This board granted a variance to install a 9-car accessory off-street parking lot on the corner lot. And then in the more recent history, Madam Chair, in our Acela system, we see that in 2013, there was a commercial change of use to daycare. And that's all that I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that. Can we have legal?
Madam Chair, members of the board, appellant is requesting an area variance from the fencing requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the area variance, appellant must prove that denying the request will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
All right,
Madam
thank
Chair, I
you.
did miss one. I'm sorry.
Okay, please.
This board granted a variance in calendar 02-287 to change use to auto detailing school.
Oh,
So the school use was in effect before the daycare. So thank you.
okay. Thank you for that. All right. I'm gonna now go to Bria Fluker. Do you have authorization to speak on behalf of 22985 Lorraine Road Holdings LLC, the owner?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and did you submit the form to the office?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Go ahead and tell us about your project.
So yeah, the name of the daycare is Bailey's Dream Childcare Center. We opened up in April, and we have, enjoyed doing business here in the neighborhood. The reason of the fence is just to protect the kids from all of the activity that's going on outside of that area, across the street, which I was not privy to before I got the building. There is a recovery home, and then there's also a reentry type of home across the street, reentry type of business. And there's always a lot of activity going on outside. And I do have some pictures here to show you all. Let me share.
Okay, she can't share screen.
I'm not able to share?
No.
No.
Oh, okay. So can I just show pictures then from my phone? Or no?
You can visually describe what it is that you're trying to show us. Or
Oh,
sorry,
okay.
verbally describe.
Okay. Okay. Let me just close out this share tab that just keeps popping up then. Okay. So there has been a lot of activity outside of this building. I saw on this corner right here, there has been instances where I have pictures of a man laid out. He was drunk. He had a bottle laid out in front of him. He was also masturbating outside of the fence. The police was called for that. I've also got chased inside of the building by someone who was high. The police was called too on top of that incident. There's a lot of prostitution also going on that block. There is a lot of activity. I mean, nonstop going on in that area. And so the fence is to provide that protection for that, because before the fence was lower, when we would have the kids outside playing, the drug users would be like reaching over inside of the fence, trying to play within the bushes or trying to interact with the kids or dancing with the music. And so I needed that extra barrier to provide that protection for the kids, which is the reason behind why we did try to extend that fence to being up taller at that 6 foot height. And then I also did have pictures as well to show like how it is from that stop sign that's right there on the corner, to see that you can see the ongoing traffic from right there as well. So I hope I'm not jumping the gun going before anything that you guys wanted to ask or anything, but that is pretty much the reason as behind why I'm trying to propose for this 6 foot fence.
Okay, thank you for that. Can you describe what is exactly behind the fence? Is that like a play area for the children?
Yes, it's the outdoor playground area.
Okay, understood. All right, Mr. Brunges, do you want to give testimony as well?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Forward on slides, please. And then one more. One more. Thank you. In 2018, the current daycare use was established. That's still being used because of the previous owner. So some of this is going to be from the previous owner. So there's a history with this property in the last few years that I've been involved with. In 2019, there was a complaint that rehab work was being done without approvals. There was a violation notice issued, but no permits were pulled. In 2020, Genesis Childcare was the previous tenant to this. They got approvals for signage. And in 2021, they came back because this became a storefront renovation program project. So they did all the different things here. The pole sign was denied by the Landmarks Commission. And then, so in 2021, a 6 foot privacy fence, you can see here that there's nothing here in 2019, but on the next slide, please. The 6 foot privacy fence was installed without any review or approval. In 2022, of April 2022, we were approached with the proposal for a new 6 foot fence in this location for where the metal fence is behind the hedge. In December of 2022, after about 8 months of discussions, a permit was approved for a shadow box, 4 foot shadow box fence. Since this is in the front yard of the Lorraine Station Commercial Historic District, is not residential, it has to be an ornamental fence of some sort in the front yard. So we approved a 4 foot fence at this location. It could not be within 30 feet of the intersection for site reasons. And it was supposed to be behind the existing hedge and the fence that's there. So if you could do the next slide, please. It was not installed as was approved. Because we felt that the hedge and the extra iron fence, along with the 4-foot fence, would give enough of a buffer from the sidewalk that somebody could not, because we agree that children should be safe, and we had to come up with a compromise somewhere, and we felt what we did worked. We did not approve the 6-foot fence. We noted it in the presentation that, or in our approval, that it was not approved. So then in November of 2024, the property went to the current owners, 22985 Lorraine Holdings LLC. On the next slide, you can see that the current fence was installed without any review or permits. Additional exterior work has been done to the building, also without permits. There's an active violation notice for both of those items. And it appears, if you can go to the next slide, you can see the change. This was taken by our staff. That it appears that the fence that was previously installed has been reused on that east side of the fence. Staff would still support a 4-foot ornamental font in the front yard in this commercial historic district, and we would support the layout as was previously approved, including the hedge in front of the fence would give that additional buffer from the sidewalk as we had originally intended to be approved. Thank you.
And what's your response to the need for the 6-foot fence, given the children and given the nearby population that the applicant has described?
I had no idea that those are in the area. It's unfortunate, and I can't really say anything. Maybe this isn't the appropriate place for a daycare, because those, when were they established? When was the halfway home and or whatever that's a enforcement with police, and that's not in my purview, and that's an unfortunate.
So I guess my question to you is, she's requesting that the board approve a 6-foot fence. I understand that your department approves a 4-foot fence. Do you have any opposition to the 6-foot fence?
It would not be appropriate for the commercial historic district. That's a residential backyard fence that they are there. If they had maybe if it's a 6-foot fence, but it's metal and ornamental, but can't get through. Because there's a couple of different variances I think they're requesting here.
Okay. Chief Leonard, go right ahead, please.
Yeah, so this is also located in a pedestrian retail overlay district. I think, it's a safety issue for the business, but it's also a safety issue for other pedestrians and businesses in this area. On Lorraine, it is a pedestrian retail overlay district, which also prohibits that 4-foot, the 6-foot tall opaque fencing. Is there a suggestion where the applicant can work with landmarks to maybe put the playground not fronting Lorraine, because that's going to create an issue regardless of what business is there. Understandably, I have a child myself, so that, protecting children at all costs is really important, but perhaps, the daycare could put the playground to the rear of the property and use that more for parking and landscaping. The other issue that this presents is, even though it's a fence, putting the playground on the sidewalk closest to vehicles driving up and down Lorraine, any type of accident could occur and a car could come slamming through that fence. So from a safety perspective, there's a reason why that 4-foot ornamental fence is required there and not a 6-foot tall wood fence.
Okay. Yes.
I do have a question. If the appellant were to sit the fence back in the front yard, I know the code allows for 4 feet for a 4-foot setback off of the sidewalk in some instances. Would that apply here would they be able to put a 6-foot tall fence 4 feet back off the sidewalk?
Generally, that's for like the side street, but yes, if they are 4 feet off the front of the sidewalk and they meet landmarks, they could potentially place that 6-foot fence there.
Okay, Ms. Fluker, I can see that your hand is raised. Do you want to give additional comment?
Yes, please. Thank you all for, your input and also taking into consideration the safety of the children. I did want to just make a couple of comments. As far as the playground, that's the only place for the playground to be. The previous daycare had that space as playground space before we got the building in 2024 is when I'm so sorry, in April of 2025 is when we opened. So that space was already previously approved. And we also had our licensing lady from the Department of Children Family Services, I'm so sorry, my mind is going blank on all of this, but the lady who approves, our licensing specialist from the state also did approve for that playground space to be there. And we also could not move the fence any closer to the equipment because the daycare rules also have their own set of rules that has to be put in place. Like the equipment has to be, I believe, 7 or 6 foot away from the fence. So that was like actually the perfect space for it to be there. So I did just want to make that mention that that is the only outdoor space that we could use for a playground because the back of the building is someone's backyard. And then that space has always been an outdoor space, even at the previous Genesis Child Care Center. That was their playground space as well.
Okay, Ms. Fluker, are there any requirements from the state that you have a 6-foot fence around the playground?
No, there is no requirement from the state. It was just as far as should provide that extra barrier of safety for the kids due to when it was at that lower 4 foot, that people were actually able to reach over into the bushes. We had bushes, the bushes inside. They were actually able to reach over. They were able to throw stuff over, interacting with the kids. I had to have me and my husband would have to stand outside to kind of swish them away because they were had too close to the kids, access to them. And of course, as me being as the daycare owner, that's my number one priority is to make sure that the kids are safe. So by having that higher fence provides that layer of security for them. Due to the oh, and I'm sorry, one more last comment. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Go ahead.
Who I forgot the gentleman's name who said this maybe not a good spot for a daycare. I just wanted to say that Lorraine, the whole street is full of daycares, and in this community, I think it's a perfect spot for a child care center for that inner city family to have a place that's safe. The kids can have a playground because a lot of the daycares don't even have playgrounds because space doesn't allow it, and we were granted that space. So I just wanted to say that we have been a blessing to the community, even in that short amount of time, so that the daycare that is a great space for a daycare to be for that community.
All right, thank you for that. Any questions from the board?
Yes, Madam Chair. So this is to the appellant. So there's been a suggestion about an ornamental fence. So that would be like a black fence with, more open space, more transparency between the fence posts. Can you speak to whether that would be feasible to have an ornamental fence rather than this straight board on board fence?
Preference wise, I believe is the it would go to. It's just because it literally blocks off any type of interaction with the kids at all, or able to slip anything through the fence because that fence has those bars which provides that space. And I want zero access to even as they're walking past, as I mentioned too, and also for the kids not to see what's going on outside because there is times where there are people who are strung out, who's walking up and down the street in underwear. The guy who I have a picture of who was laid out masturbating in front of the daycare. You know what I mean? So it provides that that layer, and then to have a see-through fence, I guess you can see that provides they can put their hands through there, or kids can see out and see stuff that they shouldn't be exposed to.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any other questions from the board?
Madam Chair, I'm wondering if we have any correspondence or communication from either the CDC or the council person?
No, Madam Chair, I do not have anything.
All right.
Another question. Is there any height restriction on a hedge that might be able to be put along the street to the sidewalk area? Mr. Bruges or Miss Leonard?
What was the question?
Do we have any height restriction on a hedge that could go along the sidewalk to buffer between the sidewalk and a fence?
I would think it would be 2.5 feet.
Okay, great. All right. I just want to point out that this is a state route, so it does have truck traffic. It also has an articulated bus, which is the double length bus. It is also across the street from a restaurant, and it is an area where there are a lot of housing. There are a number of housing situations for those people that are and in recovery, as it is close to an ODJFS office. So just points of information to give context to the neighborhood.
All right, thank you for that, Ms. Faith. Any other questions from the board?
To be clear, the fence is already up, so this is a asking for forgiveness case. To the appellant, is it possible to be in compliance with what was previously approved and pull the fence back behind the hedges?
You're on
Oh,
mute.
you're on mute.
You're on mute.
Sorry. So you're saying to push it back a little bit further so it's behind, or can I just like cut those, you think?
Well, my understanding to Mr. Rogers is that there was approval for a fence, but it had to be pulled back behind the hedges. I know it was not height compliant, but correct.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So, with us having the equipment there, if we were to move the fence anywhere closer to the equipment, we would now be out of rule compliance for the state as far as how the distance between the equipment and the fence has to be.
All right, Chief Leonard, go right ahead.
Can the applicant articulate whether they have an indoor play area for the children?
No, we do not have an indoor approved space for the children.
Okay. Yeah, so the state typically requires an indoor play area or an outdoor play area, and it's a certain square footage that they're required to be. I can state that for a fact from
Yeah, you're right.
dealing with
Yeah,
these
you're
for so
right.
many years.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right that you have to have an outdoor play space for the children, and then if let's say weather permits, they can have that space in the classroom, do some gross motor inside the classroom space. But yeah, you got it.
All right, any other questions from the board? All right, I'll entertain a motion, please.
Madam Chair, I'll take this one. It's a challenging case, given that there are state law requirements and city requirements. And we want to be sensitive to the historic nature of the building and the district. But given the testimony that we've heard today and all the complexities with this case, I move that we approve calendar number 25-108.
All right, thank you, Ms. Roca. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, can we call the vote?
Ms. Holzer?
Yes.
Ms. Faith?
Yes.
Ms. Roca?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Calendar number 25-108 is granted. It'll be ratified next Monday, and we will send the appellant a letter. She can also contact us next Wednesday for further instructions.
All right, Ms. Fluker, you are all set today. You can reach out to us next Wednesday for your next steps.
Thank you all so much for your time. Thank you.
Before Ms. Fluker, you go off, you have been granted the variance for the height. You still need to go through a design review process for the approval with the Landmarks Commission. So this is what we were waiting for. We were waiting to see if this would be approved at this level. So now we still have to approve it through us. So you've been in contact with Jessica before, and we will reach out to you about the design review process. So
With that point of contact, would that be through email, or do I need to call?
yes, we'll email you.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you all so much.
All right, you're very welcome. Thank you, Mr. Burgess, for being here. All right, we're going to call the last and final case of this morning. This is calendar number 25-111. This is at 13316 Southview Avenue. I can see that we have an appellant coming forward. I'll turn to Ms. Regina, while I put the short break. Yeah, absolutely. I'll turn to Ms. Hoser to read the case in.
Our next case is calendar number 25-111. This is at 13316 Southview Avenue. Dion Christian Bay, I'm assuming owner, proposes to build a new 2.5-story, 3,000 square foot, 3-family residence in an A1 one-family residential district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record, of which there is one. With that, Madam Chair, I'll hand it back over to you for the oath.
All right, I'll go ahead and swear you in. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? You raise your right hand and state, I do.
I do.
All right, can you tell us your name?
Dion Christian Bay,
All right,
IONECHRISTIAN BEY, 12827 Woodside Avenue, Cleveland, Ohio, 44108.
all right, you saw this plenty of times today. You know exactly what to do, huh? All right, are you here for this case, ma'am? Do you wish to speak? Understood. All right, is there anyone online that wishes to speak in this case? Doesn't look like I see anyone. All right, we'll go right to history of the property, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's been no change in the zoning since 1929. There are no variances on file, and the most important information is that in November of 2023, a permit was issued to demolish a single-family dwelling and garage on the property. Thank you.
All right, can we have legal, please?
Madam Chair, members of the board, appellant is requesting a use variance from the requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the use variance, appellant must prove that denying the request will result in an unnecessary hardship particular to the property, such that there will be no economically feasible use of the property without the variance, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Bay, please tell us about your project.
Good morning, everybody. I'm trying to get land from the land bank, the Cuyahoga Land Bank, which own the land.
I'm going to ask you to speak a little bit louder just to make sure that our court reporter can hear
Okay.
you.
I'm trying to get land from the county land bank. So when I was surveying the property, I noticed that in this area, there's already like 10 to 12 two-family places here, parcels here. So I thought it would be a great place to put a two-family dwelling there. So from 131st to I think it's probably like 135th, there are 10 parcels that's two-family already. So when I went to my architect, he suggested that maybe I try to, because it's be more cost effective with things going up and everything. He said I'll have more impact if I can try to get a third place there. I was kind of against it, but I was like, if I can do it, I'll do it. So, and he knew we would have to come get a variance. So my thing is, if I come here to try to make the basement an apartment, or maybe the attic an apartment, like a 2-bedroom, or if not, I would just do the 2-family if I can't get the 3-family variance.
What is your
If that's
application
possible.
for? What did you put on your?
New residential.
Okay, and did you put it for 2-family or 3? 3. You have it as a 3-family, right? Okay. Okay. All right. Does that conclude your comment?
Yeah.
All right, any questions from the board?
Madam Chair, quick question. I believe the appellant's architect is Mr. Began.
Yes.
And as we know, Mr. Began is frequently in front of us, so I think he's just a statement that he's versed in our code, so for what that's worth.
All right, thank you for that, Ms. Faith. Any other questions from the board?
And then, Madam Chair, to the appellant, so your intention is to have this be a new 3,000 square foot home that is split up into 3 separate apartments, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then are you gonna have like parking spots, or is it on-street parking here?
Oh, it's going to be a garage, what they call that, just covered area.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out which way route we're going to go. Yeah, carport. The most cost-effective way. But I want to put a covered garage, a three car. That's my hopes.
And do we have
At least a
any
two.
slides on this or just?
There were renderings in the packet and plans.
Yeah, okay, I just wanted to make sure we saw those.
Yeah. They're consistent with the neighborhood.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, any other questions from the board? All right, I'll entertain it.
I'm interested to hear what city planning has to say, Madam Chair.
I am actually not seeing anyone here from city planning. Do we have anyone online from city planning?
Ms. Leonard, could you confirm, is this Nate Lowell's area?
Yeah, I can confirm that this is a supported project from city planning.
Okay, thank
Yes,
you
I
for
believe
that,
I
Ms.
have
Leonard.
an email from Nate Lowell.
Okay, please go right ahead.
Oh, read that.
I will have to find it. Hold on, sorry. I didn't have it queued up.
This isn't Nate's area. This is on Ward 2, Kevin Bishop.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not Nate's area.
No,
Okay.
this is east side, Miss Kukla.
I apologize.
Yeah.
Then I do not have a letter from them, sorry.
Okay.
But I think Miss Leonard just stated it's a supported project. And I'm
Mhm.
sure consistent with the density.
All right, well, I will entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, given testimony we've heard, I would move to approve calendar 25-111.
All right, is there a second?
Board Member Holzer, I second.
All right, can we call the vote?
Ms. Roca?
Yes.
Ms. Holzer?
Yes.
Ms. Faith?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Calendar number 25-111 is granted. It'll be ratified next Monday. We'll send you a letter. You can contact us next Wednesday for further instruction.
Thank you. I will.
All right, very
luck
good.
on the
You're-
project.
Thank you.
All right, so that concludes our matters for today. I'm going to now turn to old business. We have up for ratification numbers 1 through 5. Any objection?
No objection.
All right, those are ratified.
I'm
with
sorry,
no-
I was not present, so I'm
Taking your no objection
taking my
back.
no objection back.
Okay, understood. So that is without objection from all the other members. We do have an upcoming postponement, it looks like. There's a case scheduled for July 21st that wants to be postponed. Any objections to this postponement?
No
No objection.
All right, that will be postponed without objection. That concludes our business today. It is 12 p.m. on the dot. We will now adjourn. Have a good day, everyone.
If it's all right with the board, we'll put it on August 25th. We'll give it another month for that one.
Okay, yes.
Sorry.
No objection there.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks.
Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Have a good week.
You
Thank
too.
you.